Greetings and welcome once again to the Gaming Codex, the show where I try to explain to you all the many words and terms used within video games and the video games industry. And today's term is that of sale. And what exactly would that be? Well, according to the dictionary definition, it is a period during which a shop or dealer sells goods at a reduced price. Sales have been a thing way before video games were invented. And when video games did come along, they were part of the already established sales that the stores would have. Sales that were necessary, like the Black Friday one, to actually get the stores to become profitable, because up until that Black Friday sale or that big end of the year sale or something other sale, odds are they would not be turning an actual profit. And why exactly is that? Well, because the retail model is completely broken and absolutely horrendous for most products. And in video games, that translated into the stores not actually making money on the games. They would often sell the games for $5. What they were making money on was in charging the publishers, the developers, exorbitant amounts of money for marketing the game, for getting it into brochures, for getting it into the eyes of the buyers. It wasn't just the shelf price. Oh, no. It was a lot more than that. Do you think that Bethesda made those Dovahkiin statues because it thought it was a good idea? No. It's because the big stores told them, okay, yeah, you're gonna make us a statue, we're gonna put one in each of our stores, and you're gonna have them ready 6 months before the game ships. And if the game is late today, well, that's on you. Extending our marketing is gonna cost you extra. And you may be wondering, well, how is the publisher making money by selling games at $5? It's not. That is why a lot of companies started consolidating early in the 90s. They started to buy each other out because collectively, as bigger units, they had more leverage to negotiate the prices for those marketing campaigns with the stores. Individually, they were, I believe the term is, screwed 6 ways from Sunday. So some of them went out of business. Not that they went bankrupt, no, they just decided, okay, we're gonna stop, which is what happened to Surtech, whereas every other studio got bought out and increasingly started to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And even so, their main hope was that they would make a profit by selling a lot more games than they would have actually needed to sell had the stores not done stupid things like that, because that's what Hollywood taught them to do. So that is why sales are an important aspect of video games, even in retail form. Now, when it comes to digital, I'm not sure exactly what Steam or the other systems of distribution charge to get a game on the front page when it's on sale. I just know that they charge like 30% off the price of the actual sale, which is a lot more profitable than actually selling the game at retail. So even discounting the game's price in digital form will still net the publisher, the developer, a lot more money because of the extra volume than it would have had it been at retail at a bigger price or a lesser price, or pretty much retail in general. Now, what is the popular definition? Well, there's kind of two of them. Number one would be the only time to buy games, and two, you'll waste more money on sales than by buying games normally. The second part is an argument I've seen on the internet quite often because of the Steam sales. People will quite often say, mostly people that don't really understand how the sale works, that by buying games on sale, you will buy too many of them and therefore spend all your money, more money than you would have ever spent on games otherwise, because I'm not sure, I think it's a consumerism thing that is prevalent in some countries that have disposable income and money, but it's not really an argument against sales. As for sales being the only time to actually buy games, you can kind of understand where that's coming from. $60, that is a lot of money. 60 euros, good God, that is a lot of money. 80 whatever Australian kangaroo pouch eucalyptus tree leaf dollars they have, that's also a whole lot of money. So getting them on sale, that is a perfectly valid wish, because that means you can not just buy the game that you want, but you'll have something left over to buy its sequel, its DLC, its expansion, or another game. Then it is a better alternative than just pirating it. unless the game would really awful DRM, in which case pirating it will be the safest choice. Need I remind you that Star Force and Securom and I think SafeDisk are not functional on Windows 10 because they are considered security threats. They are at the same level as malware. Well, then Nouveaux have suffered the same fate? Who knows? Who knows? The concept of the game sale has really taken off because of Steam. Because in 2009, at the end of the year, Valve decided, you know what, let's organize a sale. Let's have a bunch of games on sale, mostly ours, and people just loved it. Especially because initially, it was based on the idea of temporary price cuts that were not available throughout the entire period in which the promotion was active. So people had to actively hunt the sales. And this was a trend for many years for pretty much, well, apart from GamersGate that just had flat sales. A lot of them had the temporary sales that really increased engagement, and GOG really went all out by not getting to the next sale until a certain amount of copies from the game currently on sale were sold. Now this was annoying because, well, you'd have to wait until some games got sold, but for the developers of games like the Jack Keen 2 or one of them, it was a massive boon because otherwise their game would have probably not sold like at all in that period. So somebody had to bite the bullet and buy the games, and they did, and it worked. And then they came back to normal sales because, well, it did drive off some people that were interested in just buying the games that they wanted, not being forced to buy something else before they got. So yeah, in that case, yeah, the argument that you're gonna spend more money than you want to do on games you don't want there. Yeah, in that particular case, it does make sense if you're gonna criticize game sales in that way. But for the most part, Steam has gotten us used to all the sales, and every year, twice, 3 times a year, sometimes 4 times for special occasions, which also kinda makes people wary of, should I buy this game now and support the developer and give them all the money they were charging for the game, or should I just wait for it to go to 30% of what it's worth now and buy it then? Which leads us to the marketing definition. Finally, we're making money off this stuff. The idea is that volume will compensate and even exceed the lower price. That's the purpose of a sale. You'll not make as much money on each individual unit, but because you're selling a lot more units, since the lower price is more attractive, you will end up making more money. And you'll also end up selling more stuff, which it's always nice to have, like at the end of the year on a spreadsheet that you sold XXXXXX number of units instead of just XX number of units. Numbers people love that. Investors love to see that. Oh, so much product sold, I'm in. Sales are generally a good thing, but not necessarily always. Because if they happen too often, if they happen constantly to too many products, it becomes a race to the bottom where you cannot make money anymore off video games. It'll just be some people that can afford to live on whatever they make through selling a game on Steam for 50 cents, then discounting it to 25 cents, and you won't see any big companies actually putting money into making games anymore. Any big studios, anybody that's actually got any talent and a family to support, they won't be making games anymore. So sales are good, sales are great. A race to the bottom isn't. And so closes another chapter of the Gaming Codex. Come back next time for a brand new subject. Goodbye.